I just want to come and say hi because you are so gorgeous. Say that, right? The truth. If she's like, oh, I'm sorry, I have a boyfriend. That's okay. You just save time.
So would you say that you help people find their wives?
I saw a picture, one of my past clients posted on Facebook, and then I sent it to my mom. I'm like, hey, mom, look, that baby right there, I made it happen.
And then what would you say are some best practices for online dating?
Swipe. This is really important, guys.
All right, how's it going? I'm here with Aisen, the internet's #1 Asian dating coach.
What's up?
Here we are. All right, Aisen, for the viewers, take us a little bit behind the scenes of what is a day-to-day life of an Asian dating coach.
It's pretty amazing. I wake up with a smile on my face. It is nice. I get to coach people, I get to help people, and it's super fulfilling. Sometimes in the mornings I wake up not so energetic, but after that first coaching call, I'm like, boom, all my energies are there. Because I just love helping people. Because I was there, I was a guy that couldn't get girls, I was a guy with low confidence, bad mindset, and just very negative. And now I'm able to change that, to a 180. And I'm so happy to be able to see the potential in other people and help them do the same.
You've been doing this now for how long?
Since 2016, but full time for about 6 years now, yeah.
Wow, okay. So with the clients that you have, what would you say is the biggest problem that is recurring a lot?
Can't get girls. But
why though?
Why? It's because no one wants to admit this, but it's mindset. They're limiting themselves.
They're limiting themselves. How so?
Well, they don't think they're good enough. A lot of times it's because of our upbringings. Our parents are comparing us to other kids. Like, hey, look at Johnny. Johnny got all A's. He didn't get all A's. Or like Johnny did this, or Todd did that. This guy's a doctor. You're not a doctor, right? So we feel we're not good enough. Even though on paper, these guys have great careers, maybe their own house, a car, right? Good people, like upstanding citizens. But they don't feel like they're good enough to attract the right woman into their lives.
So then how do you go about implementing some of these changes to really change that mindset?
So a lot of times we have to deconstruct what is already here to reconstruct what we want to have.
I like
so
that.
It's all about taking them from their current state to their desired state. And it's by obviously breaking down their limiting beliefs and resetting their mind, basically. Kind of like if you go to the military boot camp, resetting everything.
So what does that look like? Let's say I just signed up to be one of your clients, and I'm like, okay, can't get girls.
Right.
I still have my V card.
Right. So the first thing I'm going to ask you is, on a scale 1 to 10, what would you rate yourself? Just overall. And a lot of times it's
less
6 or 5, right? And then if I'm like, hey, if you're 5 and you want to attract a 10, how's that going to work? So we got to raise that first. And a lot of times I get them to list out their accomplishments, and I read it back to them. And then so they can see it from a third person's perspective. A lot of times we don't see our accomplishments, or we judge ourselves so harshly that it's a detriment, because other people might feel like, hey, we're good, but we don't feel like we're good. So by doing that, it raises their score instantly. They're like, oh shit, maybe I'm not a 5.
I'm sure you've worked with many clients. What would you say is one of the biggest red flags when you're starting to work with a client?
They don't want to listen. They don't do the work. I'm like, hey, watch the videos, do the homework. If they're not doing that, then I can't coach them.
Yeah.
Or they don't want to, or they're doing something that I'm not telling them to do, or it's going against me. So.
And why do you think they do that?
Some of these guys are very successful in their real lives, right? Making multiple 6 figures a year, have a 7-figure net worth. That's why they feel like they know everything. They're like, who's this kid telling me to do this? I can run circles around this kid, but they might know other stuff more than me, but I'm good at this area. So that's why a lot of times successful guys have this big ass ego, and that's maybe their downfall.
And then if you see some of this,
I called them out. Yeah,
yeah, you called them out.
What the fuck are you doing? You're paying me good money to be here to learn, but you're not doing it. And if you do the same thing over and over again, expecting different results, what's that called?
Insanity.
Yes, sir.
So are there some cases where you think you can work with it, and some cases where you're like, you just kind of throw your hands up in the air?
Well, usually I do 2 calls before even pitching what I can do for them. And then in those calls, I figure out if this guy's going to be trouble or if this guy's going to actually be able to get the results. And I don't take on any client that I don't feel like I can help. That's a waste of my time, waste of their time, and waste of their money.
So in these first 2 calls, what are some of the questions that you're asking?
Like what is their biggest challenge? What are the biggest challenges? What is the result they want? You know, if it's realistically available or not. And if they're willing to be coached, if they have any, some people come to me without any like, you know, work or anything. They're like, hey, I'm broke. I'm like, yeah, you got to get a job first, man, before you get a girl. Because I'm going to get you on dates. I'm going to get you on dates. You're going to spend like your whole weekend going on dates for like, you know, multiple days per week. You got to, each date costs like $80 at least. So you're going to spend like a few $100 every month on dates. You can't afford that. You can't afford to go out.
They have bigger problems to worry about.
Exactly. Yeah.
So in these 2 calls is where you start seeing some of the red flags.
Right, exactly.
What is one thing where it's an immediate green flag where you're like, okay, I think I can really help this person?
If someone has an open mind. If they feel like they can't change, then they can't change. I was talking to someone on Monday. He's like, oh, I don't think I can change. I'm like, okay, well then I can't help you because you don't believe that you can't change. And if you do the same thing over and over again, you're not going to get the different results. So if they're willing to change, willing to listen, green flag, automatic.
What would you say in these 2 calls are some of the common goals that you say? Obviously, like one of them might be dates, but
relationship, long-term relationship.
Like, is it like, are some people looking like, oh, I want to find my wife, or some are just like, oh, I just want to sleep around, or like,
well, very few people want to sleep around, right? Some people are like, you know what, I'm tired, I'm old enough, I want to settle down. All my friends are getting married. That's their biggest like pain point, seeing their friends get married and then they're not ready. They don't even have any options. So like sleeping around is easy, but that's not what they truly desire.
So would you say that you help people find their wives?
Hell yeah.
Help guys.
You know, funny story. It's funny that you bring this up. I got a picture. I saw a picture, you know, one of my past clients posted on Facebook, and then I sent it to my mom. I'm like, hey mom, look, that baby right there, I made it happen. Yeah. She's like, really? Like how much effort did you put in? I'm like, I was coaching this client when he met his current wife, and then that baby came from her. So 100%.
There you go. That's
I'm like, that's
awesome
my
story.
baby.
Yeah. And to give a little bit of backstory, we can obviously keep this person anonymous. But where was this person when he first reached out to you?
In a dark place.
Really?
Yeah. He was like, yeah, I'm active. I'm Asian. I live in the Bay Area, but women are kind of turned off that, you know, I live a different lifestyle. I'm not a traditional, like,
what do you
nerdy,
mean different lifestyle?
You know, like most Asian guys, they just go home, go to work. That's it. They don't have hobbies. This guy is active. He likes to run, likes to hike. And a lot of Asian guys aren't like that. So he feels like women, that's his limiting belief, right? He felt that women didn't like him because of his active lifestyle.
What else were some things that you saw in his lifestyle that really led to a big improvement?
Big improvement was just being okay with accepting who he is. Like, I'm not perfect. When I was younger, I just wish that I was, you know, belonged somewhere, because I grew up in 3 different countries, like China, Czech, America. And even now, I'm like, I don't think I fit in anywhere. And it's okay to not fit in. It's okay to stand out in a place where everyone wants to fit in. So that's my biggest superpower. And I taught that to him. Like, it's okay to be different. You know, they can see me as an Asian guy, but I'm more than that, right? I'm also American, I'm also European. So that's a huge advantage.
What would you say were some of the biggest hurdles working with that client?
Well, it's easy for me, but it's more so for him to understand like how I see things. So the biggest hurdles, wasn't too hard.
Well, the biggest hurdles for him, yeah.
Okay.
Like,
to actually
was
see
it
himself,
a mindset thing?
100% mindset. Everything goes back to the mindset, because your thoughts from your mind become actions, and then these actions become results, and these results become habits, and these habits become a lifestyle. So everything starts with the mind. If you think you can, or if you think you can't, you're right.
I like it.
100.
So where did this guy meet his wife?
At work, actually. And
oh wow!
At the time, she was seeing someone. Funny story. But I'm like, hey, you know, you got to go with what the heart wants. Talk to her, tell her you like her, and then he tells her that. They start having lunch together. She breaks up with him, and the rest is history.
Wow. So is work one of the places that you recommend clients to?
You know what's
to meet
funny?
women?
People always ask me this: where is the best place to meet women? And I tell them, anywhere. Women are here, there. You know, you go outside, you see a bunch of women. You can meet women anywhere. I don't like to like just go out there, go to the mall or go to yoga class just to meet women. No. Do what you do. You're gonna see women. If you go to the gym, you're gonna see women. If you go shopping, you're gonna see women. If you go to the bar, you're gonna see women. If you go to a wedding, you're gonna see a lot of women that want to get married. Right?
Except for one, yeah.
Except for one, yeah.
So you don't have like a specific spot of
you got to do what you like, because what I'm trying to tell people, like I sometimes in traffic, I got a video of me getting this girl's number in traffic. Yeah. So like it doesn't matter where you are.
Could you tell this story?
Yeah. So I was chilling. My buddy was driving his truck, and then I see this girl. She's cute, right? So I think I winked at her, and then she winked back. She was driving, you know. I'm like, "What's up?" And then I wave, and then I start blowing her kisses, and then she started blowing kisses. I'm like, "All right, hey, dude, like let's." Those girls are flirting with us. Let's catch up. And then I roll my window down. Hey, what's your name? Blah, blah, blah. And then what's your number? We got her number. And then we had a double date that same date. Same day. Yeah.
Awesome.
Anywhere. Yeah. Because if I tell you a place that's not in alignment with who you are, it's not going to work. Like I love going to the bars because I like the music. I like the drinks. I like the people. But if you hate drinking or you hate loud music, then that's not the place for you. Then you're gonna feel worse, and then your vibrations are off, and then no bueno.
So you said something right there, alignment.
Yes.
What does alignment mean for you in your personal life, and then in the dating coach, and like when you're talking to a client?
You got to be authentic, man. What you see is what you get. This is how I talk to my friends. This is how I talk to God. This is how I talk to everybody. You know, authentic, and that's the best thing to be. Yourself. Because when I was younger, they didn't teach me this. In pickup, you know, it's like, hey, pretend to be this cool guy, pretend to know how to do magic, you know, pretend, wear a mask, right? But that's never going to work because you're never going to attract the right person if you're being someone else. And you're going to hate yourself for it because you're like, shit, if I'm this cool guy, I can get girls, but if I'm myself, I can't get shit. So I teach people that. Love yourself first, because you can only love yourself before other people love you.
I like that. So authentic.
Yes, sir.
That's the foundation. What would you say are other foundational pillars?
Honesty, integrity, right? Never try to cheat people. Never try to lie. Like, you know what's crazy? I don't think I sin. No. I do sin, but I don't think I lie ever. And that's the hardest thing to do, right? Is to not lie. So that's what people like about me, I guess.
Awesome. And you had mentioned a little bit about pickup. What was your introduction into pickup, and then how did that lead to more of like the one-on-one coaching?
That's funny. Yeah, when I was younger, about 16, I used to play like sports with the neighborhood kids, and then I'm like, hey, dude, Richard, let's go play ball. He's like, oh, I can't today. I got a date. I'm like, what is this date? What do you mean date? Oh, with a girl? Oh shit, I need that. So I started, you know, obviously I didn't understand dating at the time, growing up in a household where my parents didn't support dating. They're like, hey, just go to school, get good grades, get a job, and then eventually you'll get married, right? I was like, yeah, okay, let's see that. But then my friends were getting dates, you know, I'm like, they're getting late. I'm like, okay, how do you do this dating stuff? So I started looking online. How do you talk to girls, whatever. And then it led me to, you know, the pickup community, which I don't like. Because that's not real. And they didn't teach people mindset back in the day. That was like 15 years ago. It was more so like, say this line, deliver this message, and then get the number. But now this is the reason that I'm different is because I teach people about the mindset so that they can do this holistically without trying to be someone else, without trying to change themselves and their morals and beliefs.
So what would you say are some other key differences from the pickup scene that you didn't like?
So that's a big one, right? Being someone else. And the thing is, like, they can't replicate this in other areas of life. So for example, if I teach someone to be confident, teach them to trust themselves and fall in love with themselves, they're able to get better jobs. They're able to make more money, get promoted because they think they're worth it now. They're like, motherfucker, I've been here for 5 years. I deserve a promotion. And they do. So.
And then that carries over to the
everything else, like
social
respect,
life.
also like respect among friends. Like now people are like, whoa, there's something different about you. You know, you're not a pushover anymore.
Yeah, I like that. So, so you, correct me if I'm wrong, but it seems like you say you're a dating coach, but it's really more
all connected. It's all connected.
Yeah.
Mind,
it's a life coach.
What's above, as above, so below, right? If your mind is fucked, then everything else is fucked in life.
Yeah. And so what is it like teaching these pillars of like authenticity and self-love to more or less strangers that you kind of find on the internet?
Yeah, it's fun because I see them like, you know, a younger version of me or a different version of me. I'm like, that was me. I can see that you're walking the same footsteps as me. I wish I had a mentor growing up, but I didn't. So that's why I became the guy that I was needed.
And then sometimes you have people who fly here to Austin to come see you. And what is that experience like for people?
It's super fun for them because they get to see me in person, live. And they're like, wait a second, like, because you see the possibilities of me, right? Aisen's always talking to people. People come up and talk to Aisen. And then women like me, connect really quickly, whatever. They see the possibility increases the probability of them doing it. They're like, okay, this is possible. I didn't know this was possible. Like, they don't think that what I do is possible for them, but it is.
So what are some of the things that they don't think are possible?
Like, for example, like I just went on a date with this girl last week and she was a referral from another girl. I guess I gave her a good D, and then she's like, my friend wants some D too. So, you know, the guys don't think that's possible, but it's possible for Aisen. And it could be possible for you, right?
Yeah.
For anybody.
When you're on these in-person like experiences, is there a common question or a common theme that you see a lot with the guys?
Yeah, people are scared to talk to girls, but it's okay, right?
Yeah.
You get the nerves. The thing is, I always tell people, if you have the cure to cancer, would you keep it to yourself or would you share it with other people? And they always say,
if you had the cure.
Yeah, they would say, hey, I'm going to share that shit with everyone else. I'm like, so why don't you share yourself with other people here? Because these girls, they don't want a douchebag. They want a nice guy like you. But if you don't put yourself out there, they're never going to meet this guy. So you're doing them a disservice by being selfish, by being, you know, keeping it to yourself. So go out there, have some fun, and meet this wonderful person.
There you go. I like it. So what are your thoughts on cold approach?
I like it. Why not? It's like if a girl wants someone in her life, right? So why don't you be that person? Easy.
And what would you say is the best way to go about cold approaching?
I love this question. A lot of guys think that it's supposed to be, I go to the mall, I spend an hour, set this time aside, talk to women, right? No. Because then she's going to be like, oh, what are you up to today? You can't just say, I'm just talking to girls. Right? That's weird. So I recommend cold approaching women when you're doing stuff that you normally would do. Let's say if you go for a run and you see someone like on the trail, say hi, right? Hey, I just thought you look beautiful today. Wanted to come and say hi. Or if you have a dog, go to the dog park. Don't just go to a place with women because obviously women do yoga or Pilates. Don't go there to meet women if you don't like it. Because then your vibration is going to be off. Everything's going to be off. They can see that. You're just a creepy guy, like checking out everyone's asses, you know, trying to get a date. That's not cool. And a lot of guys try to learn dancing or learn to play an instrument just to get women. And then they get mad when they see me like in the dance hall. I don't know how to do shit. You know, I got two left foot or like one foot and then one like on the crutch. I can't dance to save my life, but they're like, this guy doesn't know how to dance. I spent 6 years learning how to dance, spend all this money, and the women like this guy. It's because of personality, right? If you want to get better at dating, just learn to get better at dating. Don't learn all this other stuff.
There you go. I like it. And what would you say are some other tips that you give people when it comes to cold approach?
I don't really have tips. You know what's interesting is that I don't have pickup lines. I don't have tips. It's more so like organic. So it's interactions, it's situational. If you see someone, let's say, I love your beads, you know, I could ask about those, right? Just anything. So just be normal, be natural.
Yeah.
Be happy. If you're in a happy state, oh, this is good. Be in the present. Because a lot of times people think about, oh, what should I say next? You're not listening to the woman. She's giving you breadcrumbs, you know. Let's say that she's like, hey, you know, I got a bushy garden. I got to make sure everything's nicely trimmed. I'm like, in this case, you could go sexual with it. You could be like, wait, are we talking about your garden or we're talking about something else now?
Some other bush.
Right. What kind of bush are we talking about here now? Right. So you got to be in the present. Stop thinking, oh, so do you like flowers? Right. Other people might think, oh, I'm going to ask her if she likes flowers, whatever. Be in the present, because if you're in the past, you're filled with regrets. You're thinking about the past. If you're in the future, you're filled with worries and anxiety. But if you're in the present, you're at peace. And that's the highest vibration you can be on. Boom.
Like it. You guys heard it here first.
Some great questions. Yeah. Good job.
So let's say it's you're someone who's never done cold approach before. You have like, you see a beautiful girl and like the most you can do is just like stare. Your jaw's on the floor. You're like salivating.
Yeah.
You're creeping the fuck out.
Yeah.
To this person who's out there, and like I was there at one point. I'm
Yeah.
sure you were there at one
100%,
point too.
Yeah.
What do you think is the best next step forward for this person?
Got you.
Maybe they really resonate with okay, not setting time aside of just like going out.
Yeah,
like, okay, I'm gonna work at a coffee shop, I'm gonna be productive. Maybe I'll take a break and then walk around the coffee shop and I see this pretty girl.
Right.
So for them,
what's next step?
Yeah, what's the best next step?
All right.
They've never
Absolutely. So what I do is first take the jaw off the ground.
Yeah.
Put it back in your mouth.
Yeah.
And then just say hi. Start with hi. You don't have to come up with any pickup lines. Say hi, right? If she's interested in you, she's gonna want to say hi back. And then ask about her day, whatever. But the hard thing is get into that flirty situation. A lot of times we can have a platonic conversation all day, but that doesn't lead to anything more than that. Even if someone gets the number, let's say you like my phone case, we talk about my phone case where I got it for 20 minutes and then I give you my number, but then there's no spark.
Intent. Yeah. There's no like romantic.
Right.
part.
So that's the hard part.
Okay. So then how do you implement the hard part?
First, you have to be able to be vulnerable with yourself, to be able to share. Every session I tell people, express how you feel. But in order to express how you feel, you have to know what the fuck you're feeling, right? If you're horny, hey, I think you're attractive, right? If you're cold, if you're hot, but hey, it's kind of hot in here, right? But express how you feel. If you like a girl, hey, I just want to come and say hi because you are so gorgeous. Say that, right? The truth. If she's like, oh, I'm sorry, I have a boyfriend. That's okay. You just save time, right? Instead of saying, oh, I love your shorts, where'd you get the shorts? You don't give a fuck about her shorts.
Yeah.
Right.
You care about who's wearing them.
Exactly. And she's just like, oh, why is he asking me these questions, right? A lot of guys interrogate. You got to provide some information about you for her to share. Let's say I just came up to you and be like, hey, what's your name? You're like, oh, I'm Gabby. Okay, how old are you? All that shit. Like, why do you want to know? Like, were you trying to rob my, get my social security? Yeah, so share something about you so they feel more comfortable. But in order to share, you have to feel comfortable with yourself.
Comfortable to share something. Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay. If we could break it down into 3 steps, it'd be say hi.
Right.
Like platonic questions. And then the step 3 would be saying how you feel. Doesn't
have to be those 3 steps. It could be hi, how you feel, say how you feel, and then get to know her more, right? So there's got to be a connection, though, emotional connection before anything else can proceed. So that is established in the first interaction with the woman. Yeah. And so what does that normally look like? Like flirting, It's like, hey, do you always look this good? Or did you put this on for me today? Right? Something like that. Right? Yeah. It's got to be more like, I can't do it right now with you. All right, we can role play. Like, I just want to say that you look gorgeous today. How's your day going?
Thank you, Aisen.
You don't know my name yet? You don't know my name yet? Yeah. Right? Just like, hey, shake your hand. Right? Something like that. Yeah. What's your name, by the way?
Gabby.
Gabby,
which
nice
is a girl's name.
Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah. Very interesting name. Yeah. I'm Aisen. So, I'm just here hanging out, getting a Red Bull. Not sponsor me. What are you up to today?
Just filming a podcast. We're gonna play some pickleball later.
Podcast and pickleball. I like both of those things. Okay, so what kind of podcast are you into?
Asian dating coach.
Okay, that's me. So you know what? Wait, don't tell me this. Are you single, married, or divorced?
Single.
Okay, so how do you feel about going on a date with me? Right, but obviously it's got to be more rapport. Yeah. It's hard to do because you're not attracted to me. Yeah. Before that, more rapport, but I'm showing intent at least. Yeah. So, I get what you mean. I like it. So, like, there's several ways to meet women, cold approach being one of them. We told a story about one of your past clients meeting someone at work. Right. Dating apps. Dating apps. Okay, yeah, let's hop onto that. Of all the dating apps, is Grindr your favorite? That sound? No. Grindr is funny though. I've never been on Grindr, but I have some friends in the community. Let's fact check that. Right. Yeah, look it up. I got some friends in the community, but I think I like Hinge a lot. Depends on what you're looking for. If you're looking for a long-term relationship, definitely Hinge. Yeah. Hinge. And then after Hinge, what do you think is the next best? Perhaps Bumble. Yeah. Some guys like Coffee Meets Bagel, but I just find those women, they're very educated, not really my type. A lot of guys like educated women, not really my type though. But I'm more so like fun, down to earth, kind of.
Yeah, what is Coffee Meets Bagel? I haven't.
Yeah, it's like it's an app that is made by I think 2 Taiwanese American ladies, and a lot of Asian guys use it because the demographics more Asian or like nerdier, smarter.
So all your clients are there.
So yeah, I don't tell them to use it. I'm like, hey, if you want a nerdy girl, go ahead. But most guys don't like it. Yeah.
Is that big in Austin? Coffee Meets Bagel?
It's big all over. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
In America, yeah.
Okay.
They were on Shark Tank, I think, a few years ago.
Oh, cool. And then you haven't mentioned what, surprisingly so, Tinder.
Tinder's okay if you want to hook up, but most guys, they're not paying me to hook up with girls. They're more so like dating with intention. Most guys are, they're in their late 20s, early 30s, mid 30s. They're like, I don't have time for hooking up. I just want to find a wife, find a girlfriend.
So what do you think is the best way to go about online dating? Let's say it's Hinge.
Yeah. Having the right, so 3 big components, right pictures.
3 big components. Okay. Yeah.
The right pictures, the right prompts, and the right opening message. I'm going to shout out to my friend Justin Harder for the right pictures. He's a great photographer in Tampa. If you're listening, Justin, love you. So pictures, right? And then prompts. In the prompts, you have to showcase your personality. Because a lot of guys, they answer the prompt so logically and it's so boring, right? So showcase some personality. Let's say, for example, if you like, boats, right? Instead of saying, I like boats, you can say, I like boats. I like boats.
Yeah.
I like beer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Instead of that, you could say, we could take a sunset cruise paired with wine and champagne on my, 30, 40 foot cruiser, whatever, on Lake Travis, enjoying good music and great company. So that's a lot better than I like boats, right?
Yeah.
Painting a picture, having some emotional connection, and then that leads to more.
So in the prompts, you want personality.
Yeah. Humor, perhaps.
Humor,
keep it lighthearted.
What's another aspect of the prompts?
That's it.
That's mostly it. Okay, so pics. Like
prompts.
Yeah.
And then opening message. You can't just say, hi, hey, how's it going? How are you? What's up, cutie? How's your day? Because an attractive woman is going to get 30 or 50 messages like that every single day. And they're not going to open because you're no different than Tom, Dick, or whatever.
Yeah.
Harry. You got to make it personalized to her. Create some kind of excitement. Create some kind of it factor. And I talk about all of that in my program. So I'm not going to share too much now.
Okay.
Too much sauce.
Yeah. So with the photos, how do you feel about the biggest fish you caught?
What do you mean by that?
In guys' profiles, they're always like,
oh, no fish. Yeah.
Fish.
I mean, it depends on what kind of girl you're looking for, right? If you're looking for a Southern girl that wants to be a stay-at-home wife, get the biggest trout you can.
Not no little goldfish.
No.
Okay.
It could be funny though. It's like, hey, this is what I caught. It's all about personality.
Yeah, I like it. And then what would you say are some big do nots when it comes to online dating?
No sunglasses. They need to see the eyes. Eyes are the windows to the soul, right? And I teach this in my program. It's not about exactly where you take the photos. It's about how you take the photos. So you want one with like intense gaze and a little bit smile that shows that you're confident and also sexy. And then another no is selfies, right? Come on now. If you want to present yourself and stand out from these guys, you can't take selfies. No mirror pics and nothing too dark. If it's too dark, what are you doing? They can't see you. And I would say like have one with your friends as well, so they can see that, hey, this guy's social. Even if your friends are better looking than you, that's good. That's good because they're like, hey, if this ugly ass dude can get all these good looking friends, that he's got something going on.
Yeah.
Right.
What do you think about having girls in the pictures?
If it's as long as it's not like doesn't look like you guys are dating, because the reason why is if you have girls, they're gonna think that you're attracted to this type of girl. And they could
and if they don't look like that girl.
Right. They could limit themselves, disqualify themselves, yeah.
Okay. But if it's like a group photo with a bunch of guys, plus
and some
girls,
girls, that's fine. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But you want to be in the center of those photos. You can't be the side guy.
You can't be the dude half of the frame cut off, like, hey guys, yeah.
Yeah, you got to be in the center.
Yeah.
That's why, like, I have one with me on my birthday. I was like in the middle and then on the boat, like flexing, and then it was a good picture. That's why I was like, I look good. I look like I'm the main character. That's what you want to aim for.
Okay, cool. And then what would you say are some best practices for online dating?
Good question. Swipe. This is really important, guys. Swipe between 6 to 9 p.m. Swipe and message, because you know why? If you message them too late, they're gonna think it's a booty call. If you message them too early, let's say 8 o'clock in the morning, you wake up, send her a message, she's not gonna be able to get that message until later because she's busy with work and she's reading her damn emails. And then by the time she sees your message, she's not gonna see it actually, because it's gonna go way down. 20 motherfuckers already messaged her that day, so your message is gonna go down and she's not gonna see it. And then don't message her on the weekends because she's busy with friends and family. So
6 to 9 p.m.
Monday to Thursday, maybe even Sunday,
Okay.
Sunday night, people are bored.
Yeah, interesting. Okay, so that's a key best practice.
When I look at a girl's profile, I always go through the pictures first, because if I see something that I recognize, that I can relate to, I'll talk to her about that. Let's say we went to the same restaurant in Greece, right? I'm like, I've been to that restaurant, and I could tell her a story of how I was there, etc. And then look at her prompts. So construct your message based on what you see and what you can connect with her on. That's super important. It's all about connection.
I like it. All right, switching gears now to a different area of dating. This will be the last one. Is like friend group, social circle dating. What's your overall view on that?
I don't like it.
You don't like it?
No.
Why is that?
Because a lot of times, if a girl is single in your friend group, there's a reason why. And you don't want to muck up the relationship between your friends, that's why, like, it's so much easier to just talk to people, like cold approach people, because then you don't have to date someone in your friend group. Let's say right now, all your friends are, same kind of friends, you want to date outside of that. It's impossible. And if a girl's single, all your other friends are going to jump in on that. So it's like, what the hell? And I don't really, how do you say, shit where you eat,
Yeah, I get what you mean. I get what you mean. Yeah. Do you give that advice to clients as well?
Yeah, but the thing is, like, I also help people build their social circles so that, I'm like 1 degree away from Trump, 1 degree away from Andrew Tate and all those people. So if you know people that know other people, then you can meet someone. I have, some of my great friends are very, very top-notch people. So if you have that network, then you can accomplish anything, not just dating, but anything else, business and everything.
Your network is your net worth. There you go. So what are some of the key steps into constructing this social circle that really works for you in dating and business?
Provide value.
Yeah.
So one thing that is super easy is, when I was younger, so this is one thing that instantly gives you value, right? You can have a great body, you can be rich, or you can just have a hot ass girl. When I first moved to Austin, I didn't have any friends. I got one friend. Shout out to Leo. And the reason why I was making friends is because I would go out with these attractive women. And then everyone else at the bar would be like, who the hell is this Asian guy with attractive women, all the time? And then they would get to know me. So women actually helps you make friends quickly. And I would say, be the connector. This is a trick. Biggest tip, be the connector. If you can connect someone with someone else, let's say my buddy wants to invest. I know some investors that have projects that they're invested in, connect. Because they're going to make money, and then I'm going to look like the hero. So, and they're going to want to be around me more because I get shit done for them.
I like it. Cool. Any other closing thoughts that that you think people could really find value from? To the person out there who maybe hasn't done their first cold approach, or they're in a relationship they're not so happy with, and they feel like they need a change, or someone who just hasn't dated anyone and is just not very good with women. What would you say is something?
I would say
talking to the 15-year-old.
Right, exactly. Like, I would say, like, I've been through all of that, and know that it's possible. Anything is possible. Because if you think you can, or if you think you can't, you're right. And all you need is the right direction so that I can point you in the right direction. It's very simple. And believe in yourself. You got it.
Awesome. Well, Aisen, thank you so much.
Thank
It was
you,
a
sir.
fun conversation, and I look forward to more.
Absolutely.
Awesome. All right.
Cheers, my friend.